Hello friends, welcome back. Today I'm going to be making mutter mushroom or peas and mushrooms with Lachaa Paratha. To start, I'm going to slide 8 to 9 mushrooms to bite-sized pieces. At the same time, I have set a pot of water to boil on the stove. Here I have 3 cups of water and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of turmeric to it. I'm going to leave this to boil, and once it has, then I will add the mushrooms. I'm using turmeric to make sure that the mushrooms are clean. While the mushrooms are boiling, I want to tell you that if you follow this recipe as shown, you will end up getting a shadi style mutter mushroom. My mushrooms are boiling and I have waited for 10 minutes to boil these mushrooms, and they're almost done. So now they're done. So I am going to remove it from the pan and I'm going to set it aside. So now here I have 2 medium-sized tomatoes and I'm going to dice them. I'm also going to finely chop 1 large onion and 5 to 6 green chilies. I'm using these many chilies, but you don't have to. The actual heat is coming from these green chilies in this dish and not from the red chili powder that I will be using later in this recipe. So that is only for color. So if you want, you can use only 1 or 2 green chilies. And next I'm going to chop a bunch of cilantro or coriander, and this we are going to use only for garnishing purposes. All right, so now that is done. These are all the vegetables and these are all the spices that I am going to use for this recipe listed on the screen. So now I'm moving to make gravy. Here I have added 2 to 2.5 tablespoons of oil. You can also use ghee, either is just fine. Now I'm going to add 3 small bay leaves to the heated oil, 2 teaspoons of cumin, a small piece of cinnamon stick, and 1 teaspoon of star anise powder. Now I'm going to add the green chilies. I'm going to add the onion and we are going to cook the onion until it is translucent. You should always cook onion into the low to medium flame to get the best taste out of it. So it takes longer, but it's okay. Now, as I see that the onion's almost done, so I added 1 tablespoon of ketchup to it. It is optional, but I think the ketchup balances the spices. Point, I'm going to add the ginger garlic paste. So I always add the ginger garlic paste when the onions are almost done so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. Now we're going to add the spices. So starting with 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder. Again, this red chili powder is just for the color. I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoon of coriander powder, 1.5 teaspoon of kitchen king masala, 1 teaspoon of turmeric. I will give a splash of water to when you add the spices so it doesn't stick at the bottom. So add a little bit of water to it. Add 1.5 teaspoon of garam masala. In goes the diced tomatoes. Now I'm going to cook the tomatoes for 5 minutes so that until the tomatoes get tender. So now as you can see, the tomatoes are a little mushy. At this point, I'm going to add my mushrooms to the gravy. In goes the peas. To cook the peas, I need to add a little bit of water to it. This one doesn't have too much. This vegetable is not very runny, butter mushroom, but I still need to add some water to it so that the peas are cooked properly. And we're gonna cover it and cook it on simmer for like 5 to 6 minutes. Now check it and then add leftover, like whatever there was garam masala was left, just add all of it at this point. I'm also going to add 1 tablespoon of crushed kasuri methi. And now we're going to put the lid on and cook it for at least 10 minutes. Now, as you see that our sabzi is ready, add coriander for garnish. Our Mutter Mushroom Sabzi is ready. Now at this point, I'm going to remove the bay leaves and the cinnamon stick so that it doesn't come into your bite when you eat it. So it's always remove the big leaves and all those things. Now we're going to make atta for Lachaa Paratha. So for that, I have 2 cups of whole wheat flour and I had 2 teaspoons of salt, and in goes half a teaspoon of ajwain, and knead it with the water, and use the water as needed. We need to knead a soft dough. Usually if you take 2 cups of atta, whole wheat atta, then it takes 1 to 1.5 cup of water. So now we're going to take 1 dough ball, dust it with flour and roll out as thin as possible. Spread the ghee generously and sprinkle a little bit of dry flour. and create pleats by slicing the dough with a knife. After doing that, we're going to carefully combine them one on the top of another. So you need to do this very carefully and do not press it. You need to be very gentle hands. And then we're going to make another bowl, and it will look like a spiral. Then gently roll out the spiral into a slightly thick paratha. I have already set tawa to warm on the stove, and I'm going to cook paratha on the medium flame with ghee until it is golden brown on both sides. Scrunch up the paratha to separate the layers. Serve with butter mushroom and enjoy.